What's happening, guys? It is another day on the channel. Today, we got some more stuff for the shop. We got some assembly lube. This is what we're going to use to put the cams in. This is the stuff I was talking about yesterday that we needed to do the cams, the cam caps, and all this other stuff. So, got that. Got a magnet because we needed this the other day and we didn't have one. So now we got a magnet. Got a little dirty already. So, got that. We're going to put that right there for right now. We're going to start putting the cams in a minute. Before that, though, we got a drip pan here. This thing is actually going to come in handy right now because we're going to pop off this power steering line down here. We're going to let all the fluid come out of it, and then we're going to take that whole power steering line off and go get a new one made. So that's going to come in handy right there. So let's go ahead, pop this power steering line off, and then we're going to start getting up to putting the head on, and then tomorrow we'll finish up this video and we'll put on the oil pump, and then possibly we'll put on the oil pan as well. So yeah, that's what we got planned for today. Okay, so we took that power steering line off. It's dripping onto the drip pan right there, so that's coming in handy already. Over here, we got the line. I'm trying to figure out how this line originally went. It kind of looks like it had a 90 already on it, but then it just got bent up, so just gonna have Mako make me one that is like just a straight line with two bends in it like that, and I'll see if they can reuse these fittings so that I can just have a good fit, because I've had some problems with some other ones that they just don't fit right and then they end up breaking on me. So let's go ahead now and we're gonna start putting these cams in, and I'll show you guys how I kind of put it together. So let's go ahead and start on that. Okay, so for anybody who has not ever used assembly lube, this stuff is really sticky. Like when you put it onto a surface, it's not really moving. And then as you can see there, it kind of makes like a string coming off it. And then I put it on each place where the cam is gonna ride, going down. And then I put it on, then I put the cam in, and then I put grease on the cam, and then I put the caps on the cam. So we're gonna do that. This side over here, I'm gonna try to clean this up a little bit with some Scotch-Brite and maybe try to get some of these scuffs out right there. And then the rest of it, we're just going to put it together because the rest of this seems pretty okay. So put a little bit here and there, boop, boop, going straight down. And then this is just gonna ensure that the cams have oil when they first start up. And then once the oil starts pumping through the entire motor, it's going to come out the little holes right along the side there, and it's just going to fill up the cams so that they constantly have oil. So this stuff here just ensures that nothing goes together and it starts up dry. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so this cam is almost in. I just did this one just for poops and giggles and just to make sure that I remember how to do it and doing it right so that I can do the time lapse and do this side the right way. I cleaned this up with some Scotch-Brite and it came out pretty good. I didn't go super hard with it, just kind of scuffed it up a little bit just to get all the minor imperfections out of it. I'm actually going to stop what I'm doing with tightening this cam down, and I'm going to actually go around with a new razor blade. I'm going to try to get more of this RTV off of the block, or off of the head right here on the top, and then we'll go ahead and we'll finish up with this cam and put this thing in. But this install here is going pretty smooth, and I didn't expect anything less because it's a pretty straightforward install with this here. So let's go ahead and finish up what we were doing here, and I'm going to scrape the gasket now. Okay, so this side is all tightened down. Everything's torqued to spec and whatnot. I have assembly lube on the pieces that need assembly lube. Underneath each one of these cam caps is assembly lube. On each one of the rollers is assembly lube. There's assembly lube everywhere. I put blue Loctite on the cam bolt at the very end here, and I tighten that down and torque that down. I put some tension on this side of the actual timing chain so that it's got a little bit of tension holding this tight right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this cam all set up, the exhaust side, so that we can put that in, and that can be in tonight too, and we can have the timing all set up tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once again, I'm going to take this thing off. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to get it all set up onto the head, and then we're going to go through and I'm going to clean up all of these cam caps and all the bolts and everything, all the hardware for the cams. Then we're going to put the cam in, and then we're going to bolt it all down, and we're going to torque it to spec and everything like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the timing tensioner on this side over here. And then we're going to be able to spring the tension onto it. And we should be able to roll it over nice and slow through the... That cam looks off there. That doesn't look right there. So we're going to have to adjust that and figure out what's going on with that. Yeah, it's definitely not on there straight. We're going to have to figure that out, but we're also going to adjust it so that everything is perfect, and that's what we're going to do right now. So let's go ahead and do that. So my phone died, so now we're on another phone, and I missed a couple steps, and I don't know how well it's going to go, but, oh, well, look at that. There you go. Cam just kind of plopped into place there. We're all set, kind of. So we got our timing mark down here. We got our timing mark here and there. And we're in between that, so should be good, I guess. I don't know. I hope so. Now we're going to tighten all this down. The cam just kind of plopped into place, which is good. So then you kind of just go through here. You just tighten all these down. So the step that I missed is that I brought the snap-on torque wrench here, and I only tightened this side on the exhaust side because I forgot and blanked on the intake side. So the only thing I know is that the exhaust is torqued better than probably the intake. So this is turning out to not be something that I'm going to be super comfortable, reliable, confident in. So yeah. Like I was saying, I'm not super confident in this anymore, but you know, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. So you kind of go back and forth through the head, and you tighten down each one of these a little bit at a time, and that ensures that you don't snap your camshaft in half. And then once you get it all down, you should be able to just go through and give her the old snuggarooski there, the old torque elbow. And should all be good. So, kind of, now, each one of these should be pretty tight. Then you just got to make sure that you don't, like, you know, start loosening when you're tightening these, because they are only a 10 mil, so. How I'm going to do it is I'm going to go 90 degrees. So I'm just going to kind of, that's pretty tight, so I'm not even going to go 90. That one I was able to. This one here. And obviously this is definitely not the torque sequence for this, but we are doing it this way. There. We're just gonna and this side should be done now. Now we got to do is kind of got to do that. So you got to grab your bolt here. Got to clean this thing off. Pretty clean. I have a filmer again today. They're helping out. They like to stay behind the camera though. And then there's already some Loctite on this, so I'm just gonna grab a little screwdriver here and I'm just gonna try to get it off the best of my ability here. And then I have come to realize from doing this the last time that you are able to time this off by one tooth and it won't blow up. But with these timing marks here, we should be pretty A-okay. Put some Loctite on this thing and just send her on home through here. I believe it should be lined up, and you know what? It's not. So we're screwed because this moved when I was tightening it. So it's great. It's great, guys. It's great. There we go. Okay. Now that that's on there the right way, now we're able to tighten this down. Could go a lot easier if I had the socket size too, but I don't. So I think it's a 24. Okay guys, so we're back at the shop now and we're trying to get this oil pump on in here. I cleaned up the surfaces. I'm doing a dry fit right now and it doesn't seem to be going on there right, and maybe I have the crank off to the side the wrong way. Maybe I need to turn the crank a little bit more and then it'll kind of just slide on there, but it's kind of going on a little rough. The last time I did this, it didn't have an MLS gasket. It just had the regular OEM style factory gasket, and maybe that's the problem as well. So when we get it on and we get the test fit on, we'll come back to you in a minute, but we're going to try to get this thing on today. The line that I had made for the power steering is not the right. They gave me opposite end 45s and they needed to be same side 45s, so I got to go back and get that made again. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to get this on today. And then we're going to try to put the oil pan on, I guess, today. Or maybe we'll do the valve cover because that's simpler. So we'll put the valve cover on, and then that'll be about it for today. So, yeah, guys, we'll be right back in a minute with the test fit. Okay, so we finally got the oil pump on. I was doing the install wrong. So the way to get this thing on there, once the timing and the head is all torqued down, is to slightly push up on the oil pump once the top is underneath the head gasket. And then you should be able to push it on and tap it into place, and it should go on. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off, put my O-ring on this here. I'm going to take this Allen key off right here. I'm going to put a little bit of red RTV on there. We're going to RTV the oil pump. We're going to RTV the block. And then we're going to just slap this thing back on and put all our bolts in and tighten it down. And then we should be good to go. All the bolts are underneath this right here. This is the line I was saying. They have it going this way, and they both need to go straight. So I got to get that made again. So, okay. All of our bolts are, I believe, right there for the oil pump. So the two that go through the head, and then the other ones that are for the bottom down there. So, or for the front cover. So that's how that is. This is for the oil pan. So we're going to go ahead, get this all cleaned up, and then we're going to get the oil pump on right now. Okay, so the oil pump is all on. I should have filmed putting this thing on, but I put it on. Got RTV on the pump, got RTV on the block. I RTV'd the little O-ring into there. I got a little O-ring in there. We actually have to pull this off still and then RTV this and then put that back in. We torqued all this down, and now what we can do is you can grab this here and kind of just slide that bad Larry onto there. Goes on a lot easier if you use two hands, but yeah, there we go. Now it's on there. Okay, there we go. Didn't go on there weird or anything like that, so it should just kind of slide off and on. And hold on a minute. Yeah, that's on there good. So now we can grab this here. Put that onto there. And then give her the old zipperooski there. That's only 3/8, so that's not on there super tight yet. But then we can grab our cam angle sensor here too. Got to line this thing up right. And we got to kind of put it in there. Kind of wiggle it around and then boom. Oh, it's not actually right. There we go. And there we go. That's in there right. Can put it in the center on both of those. And then in there's a little dot right there. That's supposed to a little dot right about there. And that lines up with this mark right here. And that means your cam angle sensor's in there, right? So had trouble putting the oil pump on, getting these 2 bolts that go down through the back here. This one, I put the cam on, so it's not as easy as putting this one in. So I kind of had to just shove her into there, and it works. So that's in there. It's all tightened up as well. Yeah, chain's super tight. Whenever you go backwards on the crank, it takes tension off, but the motor should never be turning backwards, so we're good there. But yeah, let's bolt this up. This is already bolted on. I'm going to put the valve cover bolts on there. We're going to slap the valve cover on tonight, and then we're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to put the oil pump, the oil pan and the rest of that on there. And then we got to wait for our hot side to get done so that we can, or our hot side gasket to come in so that we can put that on. So that should be over the weekend, and then this thing should be pretty much back together this weekend and then about to be putting into the car. So yeah, let's get this valve cover on really quick. Okay, so now we have the valve cover right here. I just cleaned off the edge of it where the gasket goes and throughout the center. We got the valve cover gasket here with the rest of the O-rings that go there. We're going to wipe down the head real quick, and we're going to clean off all these surfaces one last time. We're going to smear some RTV on each one of these corners going around it, and just make sure that the edge of the actual head is sealed up very nicely. We're definitely going to make sure that these half moons here on the front and on the back, and especially on the back, because we don't want to have to get our hand in the back there to get more RTV back there. We're going to make sure that all this thing is sealed up, and then we're going to put the valve cover on, and we're going to bolt it down, and then that part of the motor will be sealed up, and the head will be all done. Then we're going to have to go onto the side here. We're going to put the turbo on, and we're going to put the bottom oil pan on, but that'll be in a later video. So we're going to finish off with putting the valve cover on today. Okay, so we're going to try to do this in live time while I hold the valve cover and the camera here. So let's go ahead and grab the valve cover here. And we should be able to do this because it's not super heavy. So should be able to just kind of go like this. And then it's on. And then we're going to push it down on the front, push it down on the back, and now we can get our bolts right here that I ever so slightly cleaned up. And we're going to, I like to do the corners first, and we're also going to be able to move the valve cover around a little bit because this valve cover is very stiff now with this new gasket on there. Put that onto there, and then get a little lock washer there, a little lock washer action there. And we get 2 nuts, and we put that there, and then this one here. And then how I do it is I do both front corners, both back corners, the center, and then I'll go in like an X pattern back and forth, and then I'll do the front and the rear centers, and then I'll go back forth all the way down the whole thing, and I'll tighten it all up. So we'll put this on. We'll put some, I can't put the coil packs in because I need to go get spark plugs, but we're going to go ahead and put the valve cover on, and then we're going to go ahead and leave for the day, and that'll be about it. So we'll be right back when this is all bolted up. Okay, and then that's going to be our stopping point for tonight. Valve cover's on, all tightened up and everything like that. We're missing 1 bolt in the back here, but that's because that one is actually the one that goes for the coil packs in the very back here. I forgot where I put it, but it's around here somewhere. There it is. It's right here. So this one comes out by itself with the coil packs. I actually had to take that stud out to give to Chris because I broke one of his, so I did that a long time ago. But I just have a 10 mil bolt in the back there now. So that's about it. we're making some headway now. Our parts table is dwindling now. There's not a lot of parts left here. I got to put the oil pan on, put the hot side on, and then the motor is ready to be put back in the car. Got to get the clutch. Clutch is on its way. That exhaust manifold gasket's on its way. We got the engine harness for the tractor on the way. And then we have another part. Oh, we have a coil pack for the other tractor on the way too. So we should be rocking and rolling with some of these tractor stuffs now soon. I'm going to do the live axle stuff later on once we're done with the 180 and that thing is running and driving. So yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button, comment, share, do all the good stuff. And I hope to see you guys in the next one with more SR20 Rebuild.